The sun woke slowly over the small village of Agua Clara. It painted the sky with soft colors of orange and pink. The light touched the calm sea, making it glitter like a field of scattered diamonds. In this quiet place, the world moved with the gentle rhythm of the tides. The houses, painted in bright, cheerful colors, stood close together along the shore. They had watched generations of families live and love by the water. The air smelled of salt and the sweet scent of blooming flowers that grew in small pots on every windowsill. Life here was not measured by clocks, but by the position of the sun and the moon. In this village lived a fisherman named Santiago. His skin was the color of rich earth, darkened by many years under the sun. His hands were strong and calloused, but they were gentle. They knew how to mend a net and how to hold his children's hands. Every morning, Santiago would take his small wooden boat, Esperanza or Hope, out onto the water. He did not go far. He only fished for a few hours, just long enough to catch what he needed. He knew the sea was his friend, not a mine to be emptied. He took only what the sea offered, and he was always grateful for its gifts.
Yes, a very good one. The sea was generous today.
When Santiago returned, the sun would be higher in the sky, warm and friendly. He would sell some of his fish at the small village market. The other villagers were his friends, his family. They would talk and laugh as they traded. With the money he earned, he would buy fresh bread, fruits, and cheese for his family. He never worried about catching more than he needed. He knew that having enough was a great treasure. His heart was as calm as the sea on a windless morning. He understood that the ocean always provided for those who respected its soul. Once his work was done, his day was his own. He would walk home slowly, his bare feet feeling the warm sand beneath them. His wife, Elena, would be waiting for him with a warm smile. His children would run to greet him, their laughter echoing like the most beautiful music. The rest of his day was a simple song of joy. He would eat a long lunch with his family, sharing stories and food. In the afternoon, he would take a nap in his hammock, shaded by a large palm tree. He found peace in these small, quiet moments. He knew that each day was a miracle to be lived fully. One sunny afternoon, as Santiago rested in his hammock, a visitor arrived in the village. The man was a tourist from a big, bustling city far away. He wore expensive clothes and carried a large camera, trying to capture the beauty of the simple village. He saw Santiago relaxing, the picture of perfect peace, and became curious. He walked over, his shoes sinking slightly into the soft sand. He wanted to understand the life of this man who seemed to have no worries in the world. The tourist believed that one must always be busy, always be striving for more, and this quiet contentment was a mystery to him.
Good afternoon. This is a beautiful village. I see you are finished with your work for the day. Did you have a good catch?
Yes, a very good one. The sea was generous today.
The tourist looked at Santiago's small boat and the modest pile of nets beside it. He saw potential that, in his mind, was being wasted. He saw an opportunity for growth, for business, for the kind of success he understood and valued in his own world.
You only fish for a few hours? Why don't you stay out longer? You could catch many more fish. Imagine what you could do with the extra money. You could save it, and soon you would have enough to buy a bigger boat. A bigger boat would allow you to go into deeper waters and catch even more fish, maybe even different kinds of fish that sell for a higher price.
The tourist spoke with passion, painting a picture of a grand future, a ladder of success that seemed obvious to him. The tourist continued, his hands moving as he described his vision.
With a bigger boat and more fish, you could hire other fishermen to help you. Soon, you could own a fleet of boats. You wouldn't have to fish yourself anymore. You could open your own processing plant, right here in the village. You could ship your fish directly to the big cities, all over the world. You would build an empire from this small village. You would become a very rich and important man. You would be a great success.
The tourist leaned back, proud of the brilliant plan he had laid out. Santiago listened patiently to the visitor. He did not interrupt. He looked at the man and saw the fire in his eyes, the same fire that drove so many people in the world to chase after things they did not have. He saw a man who was running, always running, toward a distant finish line. When the tourist finished speaking, a gentle silence fell between them, broken only by the sound of the waves washing ashore. Santiago's gaze drifted toward his small house. where he could hear the faint sound of his wife humming a soft melody. He thought about his life, the life he was living right now. He thought about the morning when he had watched the sunrise from his boat, feeling the cool spray of the sea on his face. He remembered the feeling of the net in his hands and the satisfaction of a good, honest catch. He thought about his friends at the market, the shared jokes and the easy companionship. He pictured the lunch he had just shared with his family, the taste of the fresh fish and warm bread, the sound of his children's laughter filling the small room. These were the moments that made up his days, the small jewels that formed the necklace of his life. He then thought about his afternoons. After his nap, he would often play with his children on the beach, building castles in the sand until the tide came to wash them away. They did not mind. They knew they could build new ones tomorrow. In the evenings, he would walk with Elena along the shore, holding her hand as they watched the sun dip below the horizon, setting the sky ablaze with color one last time. Sometimes his friends would join them, and they would play guitars and sing old songs under the vast, starry sky. His heart was full.
And then what would I do?
The question was simple, yet it held the weight of a deep truth. The tourist was momentarily surprised. He had expected excitement, or at least interest.
Then what? Well, after you have built your big company and become very, very rich, you would finally be able to retire. You could move to a small, peaceful fishing village like this one. You would finally have the time to relax. You could sleep late in the mornings. You could fish a little, just for fun, and not because you have to. You could spend the afternoons resting in a hammock. You could enjoy long meals with your family and spend your evenings with your wife, walking on the beach and watching the beautiful sunsets. You would have no more worries. You would be truly happy.
The tourist smiled, certain that he had finally shown the fisherman the ultimate reward for a life of hard work and ambition. He had described paradise. Santiago smiled back, a gentle, knowing smile that reached his eyes. It was not a smile of mockery, but one of profound understanding. He looked at the sea, then at his home, and then back at the visitor from another world. He did not need to think about his answer. The answer was his life. It was in the air he breathed, in the sand beneath his feet. It was in the love he shared with his family and the peace he felt in his soul. He was already living the dream that the tourist was working so hard to achieve someday, in the distant future.
But my friend, I'm already doing all of those things. I already wake up when I want to. I fish just enough to be happy. I spend all afternoon with my family, and I rest in my hammock. I walk on the beach with my wife every evening and watch the sun go down. The life you say I will have at the end of a long road is the life I am living right now.
The tourist stood in silence, the truth of the fisherman's words washing over him like an unexpected wave. The universe often speaks to us in simple ways, through humble people. We spend our lives searching for a great treasure, a key to happiness that we believe is hidden far away. We climb mountains and cross oceans, chasing a dream on the horizon. We believe that more money, bigger houses, or greater power will finally bring us peace. Yet sometimes the treasure is not at the end of the journey. Sometimes it is right where we are, waiting for us to open our eyes and see. Santiago, the simple fisherman, knew this secret. He knew that happiness was not a destination, but the path itself.